I was wondering, while you were doing your research for Mother Mary, which is a pretty big figure, did you discover like any interesting facts about her or things that you didn't know before?
I think mostly because I found a book that was so interesting. It wasn't a biography on Mary per se, because there isn't really a lot to go from for her. But it is about how women lived back then. And so what her upbringing may have been like, what her life, day-to-day life may have been like. And it struck me how strong she must have been. But I'm not only talking about character. I'm also talking about like physical, like healthy, how much of the day-to-day life back then was basically surviving. Exactly. You know, because she must have walked like miles every day. She must have carried weights. She, you know, like when you travel, you have to carry stuff with you. To me, it was very revealing as to how I would carry myself, because I am portraying an older character. I used to kind of like really rely on this, you know, on the older lady that's maybe not walking all that great. But no, she must have been, even though she was elderly by those standards, she has to have, you know, have some good legs, you know? So anyway, that's really what struck me the most. But of course, her inner strength is really what I've come to admire the most. Nobody's really seen Mary. Nobody knows what she sounded like or anything. So I have that liberty to just like kind of like bring some real women to that.
And did you add like any of your own quirks or traits to just make Mary your Mary?
I don't know about quirks. I think the way I haven't changed really the way I speak or any mannerisms. I've relied a lot on myself, and even though it's not necessarily myself, but it's like women in my family, so I feel like it's there in my genes. So I haven't tried to emulate someone outside. I feel like it's something that, I have this in me that I think it's part my grandma, part my mom, you know. Women in my family are very strong, but yet also very funny, and they love to laugh, and they love to live, and they love to eat, and you know, and feed you especially. So it's one of those things where I like to think that Mary was like that, you know, that she was a mother to more than just her son, that maybe, you know, even to the other disciples and to the women there, she maybe could act as a mentor. I mean, we are going into one of the most iconic weeks in history. And at the same time, I think very few people really understand what could have happened between Jesus entering Jerusalem, being greeted as a king, and then being put to death. The way sometimes Jonathan and I like to prepare for certain moments is I start talking to him like he's my child. Really? And so this is obviously not being recorded, or maybe it is, I don't know, but it's usually before a take so that he can kind of take all that emotion and just be really connected to that moment. And I started saying how the women were with him till the end. Yeah. And like, we've been with you, we've believed in you, and we won't leave your side. Just telling you about it kind of makes me emotional, because it's such a woman thing to do. right?
That's beautiful.
When you connect with someone and you really go through something devastating with someone, us women, we stick with each other, and we stick with our children and our families, and we fight. So it even now remembering it, I get emotional.
Yeah.